Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. Obviously, the issue of insecurity is biting hard, not just a particular region, but other regions are also beginning to feel the impact of insecurity as other groups are beginning to, should I say, join forces now with the Biafran agitators. I guess this time around, everybody is interested in this whole issue. But before we go into the newspaper to find out what it is, even the northern groups are now saying concerning the agitation of Biafra and what they're telling everyone who cares to listen to do right now. Would like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it. You see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Much as people are comfortable with propaganda, the harsh reality still stares us all in the faces as a coalition of 52 northern groups on Monday called on the global community to intervene in persuading the Nigerian government and the United Nations to facilitate the final actualization of the Biafran dream by the Igbos. While describing as empty and of no effect threats and promises by President Muhammadu Buhari, the CNG said between December 2020 and April 2021, over 970 students were abducted from their schools in the northern part of Nigeria, with a substantial number still in captivity and some violently executed. The spokesperson of CGN, that's Abdul Aziz Suleiman, raised the views in a communique after an emergency meeting in Abuja. According to him, Northern Nigeria has never experienced the present level of exposure to criminals and bandits under the regime of Buhari. He said, the CGN hereby resolves to call on our friends and the international community, the UK especially, to understand that our bilateral friendship is guided by the principles of sovereignty, promotion of peace, and the standards that guard legitimate interference. Hence, their intervention, exclamations, and actions should not be thrown to discountenance the effort of the Nigerian state to protect citizens from violence and terror. We finally wish to renew our request for the global community's intervention in persuading the Nigerian authorities and the United Nations to facilitate the final actualization of the Biafran dream by the Igbos. This is a serious one. The world should keep in mind that by far, I continue with what they are saying. He said the world should keep in mind that by far a destabilized Nigeria will certainly threaten the peace and security of the entire sub-Saharan Africa. In the south, gangs of armed IPOB militia, violent secessionists, and an assortment of militant groups appear to sense a huge vacuum in the capacity and political will by the federal government to challenge them, which they exploit with disastrous consequences on the nation's security assets and specifically on northern communities and individuals living as minorities in the south, while the presidency wallows in deflating the issue. The CNG, however, attacked the indigenous people of Biafra, saying it is now taking a more ominous and reposeful form and content with an open declaration of violence and anarchy against other parts of Nigeria and the Nigerian state. Now they are saying that the international community, should intervene. All right, let's look at this very critically. Now, finally, the indigenous people of Biafra have finally gotten the attention of all Nigerians. They've been asking for secession for about 3, 4, 5 years, as in actively now. Yeah, about 3, 4, 5 years actively. But they've been there off on, in subtly mentioning it here and there, but actively. It has never been this high. And I can still remember some hours ago, Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that Nigerians love APC. And that even giving forward, I'm not quoting him, I'm paraphrasing, even in 2023, if care is not taken, APC will still continue. They can rule as long as they like because Nigerians love APC. And now within me, I was just thinking, that's to me, it's right now, it's almost an insensitive statement right now. Lives are lost. This is not political lines. This is not party politics. Lives are lost. Let's talk about the lives of Nigerians. Let's talk about the security of lives, the security of Nigerians, and let's talk about how properties and how we can move forward as a people first before party. So beginning to talk about party, how Nigerians will keep voting APC, is as if he's not looking at the pains and the fact that every day Nigerians are dying in their numbers. And we're talking about politics, as in, how did we get here? 2023 is still very far. Tackle the issue of insecurity now before we get to that level. And some hours ago, I think Sheikh Gume talked about the unity of Nigeria that is sacrosanct and that there's no way that Nigerians are meant to be. The forces that unite Nigeria is bigger than the forces that will separate them. That's the best thing to do because the Fulanis are everywhere. I'm quoting him now. So the Fulanis are everywhere. That barrow pusher is a Fulani man. That carrot seller is a Fulani man. That headsman that is in the bush is a Fulani man. If you check very well in one community or the other, the Igbo man, that said that some Fulanis even speak Igbo so fluently because they were born and bred in Igbo land. I'm quoting Gume now. He said even to the point that he said that even in just like the Igbos too, who have their way in the south, the northern part of Nigeria, and they have become acclimatized with the northern roots. So he's saying in a nutshell that instead of us to start shouting secession, those calling for secession, that instead let's come together, look at what our differences and iron things out as one big family. So if we want to go the other way, but whether we like it or not, we still have to come back and iron things out. I wondered, Sheikh Gume is saying this. People are agitating for a reason, right? Why don't I keep saying this over and over? Dialogue. Find out why they're agitating and see if they can work around things. Using power of force will not help at all. Now the northern group CNG is now telling the UK, saying, "Look, we are friends. All right, yes, we agree. But don't forget that there's a part of the law, international community, where there's a level, a limit where you can still have interference. You can come in, talk to the Nigerian government." They're now shouting that it has never been this bad in their own brothers, time of ruling as President Muhammadu Buhari. The level of insecurity is on the increase. And they're saying if the Biafrans are agitating and they want Biafra, please, the UK, the UN should intervene and give them Biafra. So at least for the first time in a very long time, the Biafra agitators have gotten an ally. The Northerners are saying, go ahead. Why Sheguma is saying it's not possible? Secessionist group that are asking for secession, or according to Gume now, those agitating, he called them secession. Those trying to secede, it can't have headway. Well, it's up to you. What do you say? Finally, CGN is now speaking on behalf of Biafra to the international community to please come and wedge in and beg the presidency or beg the people in government to look into the issue of Biafra agitation and give them their Biafra. Let's interact in our community. What's your take? Do have